call it, Babe Ruth ball it. Your boyfriend's got a cauliflower and I'm a... So sue me, who you, Judge Judy? Stacking the rubies, if life was a movie, then you could just call me the Goonies. You're not relevant, trolling on the internet, no respect. Haven't moved out of your parents' basement yet. Big neck, coming with the beat that's gonna break your neck.
You can hear me now.
Can you hear me now?
I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. Anticipation is mounting for today's game, and we've got two quarterbacks looking to make an impact. It's Ryan's Falcons going up against Roethlisberger's Steelers. And with that, we'll send you up to the North Shore of Pittsburgh at Heinz Field by the Three Rivers as we head it over to our broadcasting team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you very much, Larry. We are here on a beautiful afternoon for football. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the Atlanta Falcons and the Pittsburgh Steelers. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. Now Ryan on first down. He completes it to Julio Jones. Over 1,400 yards last year for Jones. Just 6 touchdowns, but, of course he had the big 300-yard game. However, when he was blanketed with coverage, he always opens things up for other guys, doesn't he?
He does, and that's what's benefited Atlanta's offense. Other guys were able to step up. In 2016, Mohamed Sanu stepped up and had his best year as a pro. Austin Hooper, as a young tight end, really developed down the stretch. And Taylor Gabriel, who had come over as a free agent from Cleveland, he really flourished, actually led the team in touchdown catches. But there's only one Julio Jones, and you want to get the ball to him as much as possible. And when you watch Devontae Freeman run the football, you can almost close your eyes and hear him running the football, can't you? Because people just scatter. I mean, when he goes through a pile, it moves in a positive direction for him. I just love how hard he plays the game.
1,000-yard season. He had 11 touchdowns last year. In March, 25 years old. So he's kind of hitting that sweet spot for a running back, isn't he?
He really is. And I still remember the evaluation of him coming out of college. He does everything well, but you weren't sure he had a dominant trait. Well, wrong about that. He's dominant just about everything he does. And I think that he's going to continue to elevate his game and seek a third Pro Bowl in 2017.
He was trying to hit Taylor Gabriel that time, and that'll bring up second down. All right, let's look at the offense. Devontae Freeman, this is a guy that you wanted to talk about, so take it away.
Brandon, have you seen a running back play with such joy as well as such fury? I love the way he runs the football and attacks defenses.
Got a man, and he hits him in stride. That catch good for 5. It's third down. And the starting defensive unit here for Pittsburgh.
Cameron Hayward is a defensive lineman, but many of us, especially guys of my vintage, remember his father, Craig Ironhead Hayward, who was a running back. I think Cameron decided he'd rather hit people than be hit.
And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far on the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
Now it's Ryan. It's hauled in by Hardy. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
And how about this first drive? They're being aggressive, slinging it around.
Really confident, too, because they're not trying to fool them with running plays, throwing it, and they're being very successful right now.
And this will be play number 8 of the opening drive. It's 3rd and short. On 3rd and short, the fullback DeMarco. And he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12.
On 3rd and 1, it seems natural to just turn and hand it to the biggest guy you have in the backfield. But usually, he's not the primary runner. So for the defense, they're often keying on the running back because he's the guy who gets the ball more often, and the fullback is the blocker. When he ends up carrying the football, that's a heck of a tendency breaker, and now you're just trying to jump on his back and hold on.
Ryan, a strong running. He was hoping to get that one to Tevin Coleman in space. And now it's 2nd down.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Ryan. Buying time to his left. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 6 yards on the pickup, and they're going to face a 3rd down. And so far, a very nice, methodical opening drive.
This has the feel of a scripted drive that they rehearsed perfectly all week long, and now they're executing it on game day.
Script looks good so far. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Falcons in possession to begin quarter number 2. They're on the march, but facing a 3rd down here. But just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense. From the gun on 3rd down, Ryan eluding the pressure right. And this is going to be incomplete. Trying to get that in the hands of Devontae Freeman that time. And it's 4th down. The Falcons will call on Matt Bryant for the field goal try. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And the kick for the 41-year-old is up and good. And the Falcons are out to a 3-0 advantage. So they get 3. They were hoping for 6. An unlucky number 13 play drive.
Well, you go to the sideline after putting 3 points on the board, happy, but you wanted to be ecstatic. You wanted to have 6. On the board. On the opposite sideline, though, the defense, I think they're high-fiving each other, only giving up 3 after letting them run that much offense.
They come up with one running back. That's Bell. And he'll get it up the middle. And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25. In 12 regular season games this last year for Bell, averaging over 150 yards from scrimmage. First 2 games in the playoffs were great, but, you know, getting injured in the final game probably leaves a bad taste in his mouth.
Leaves a bad taste. Gives him fuel for the next season, though, because, remember, for the last few years, he hasn't been able to play a full season for various reasons. Now, going into next year, imagine those numbers over a 16-game season and heading into the playoffs. Le'Veon Bell can set new records.
And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Man in motion right, Antonio Brown. Here's Roethlisberger. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down. CD, wanted to get your thoughts just on the landscape of the offseason for each of these teams. Super Bowl in the rearview mirror, but so much going on. People look at the draft a lot, but there's a lot more that goes into the offseason for these front offices, is there not?
It certainly is, and even before we get to the draft, you start with the combine. You know, that's held in Indianapolis every year, and you have about 350 of the top prospects coming together to get their physicals and interviews and on-field performance, and all that'll get evaluated along with their game tape. And then you've got the free agents, all right? That starts, I believe, in early March, where now the free agents can start moving around to different teams. So your team's starting to take a little bit of shape there, free agency, because then the draft's coming up. You're trying to put your team together with new draft picks, have everyone start to move in one direction. And then you have the OTAs and minicamps. We get to see them on the field for the first time, and we start to get a better idea of how these teams are going to look when the fall begins. Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. Here we go on 4th down with Roethlisberger. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Picked off by Robert Alford. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the three-point
kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side, being chased out left. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Jacob Tammy, there. And it's 2nd down.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. And he's got his man in stride, complete. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
So with that, we come upon the 2-minute warning here on the NFL on EA Sports. They'll come out in the pistol. Throwing again, Ryan. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Lawrence Timmons. There he goes, right side. The 40, the 30, and a super return as he gets us all the way down inside the 25-yard line. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. 5 yards left for the offense. It's 2nd down. On 2nd down, Roethlisberger. Bryant with a catch right side. And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Steps away. That is caught at the 7. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
And that's why you do all the drills that you do from the quarterback position, because you're not going to just throw to your strength. The right-handed quarterback naturally will want to move to the right side to throw the football. But sometimes you've got to go left, and that's exactly what happened on that play. Forced to his left, still able to accurately throw it downfield for a completion.
And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
The best defensive lineman They play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example.
And this is caught. It's Bryant, and it's a Steeler touchdown. Martavis Bryant from 4 yards out, and the Steelers have taken the lead.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Already looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
That's fielded in the end zone. And the Falcons now making their way back out onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you've got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. Oh, well, you mind if we go off topic for a second?
No,
you know I like to do that randomly. AFC playoff contenders for this year that didn't make it last season. Who do you have that might get in?
Well, I think Cincinnati's got to be considered there. Maybe they'd have an offseason that's calm, and they go into this season and try and get back to the playoffs where they've been perennials. How about Denver?
Yeah.
Remember last year they didn't have the quarterback to start. Trevor Siemian played pretty well overall, but maybe they can get solidified there and ride that strong defense right back into the playoffs. I'm going to give you a couple a little bit off the pace. Indianapolis cannot afford to squander Andrew Luck. One of the better young...
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And this is a spot late in the clock near midfield, though. Maybe take a couple chances, see if you get in field goal range.
You do that if you have trust. And this should be a position now where the great ones, they relish this opportunity to try and put points on the board.
And Bryant's got it over the middle. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15, just shy of the 10. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. They go play action here on first down. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
On second down, here's Roethlisberger. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Martavis Bryant in the final seconds of the first half. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. And this one through the uprights and good. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got the Knox in the house, right? And I go by the name of Wyclef. I brought the band. Now, I got a question for you. Who do you think is the greatest rapper extension. Told her I'm a bad one, but I only got the best intentions. Tougher, tougher, not a bluffer. I want you to be Molly. Don't have to take it undercover. Ling-a-ling-a-ling, the honeymoon is when we going, and I take you to a place that you didn't even know exists. What's your wish? Dinner at the Eiffel Tower in Paris.
Shot is in the basement party.